Welcome to Pure Picks. This is your boy Gerard, and today we're going to be doing a best bets video for UFC Fight Night Tybura versus Spivac 2. Now, let's do a quick recap for UFC Fight Night Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. I'm going to quickly go over this. I already went over this in the Confident Picks video for UFC 305. And as you can see here, we risked 7 units on the night and got back 6.58 units. So 94% ROI on this card. A lot of wins and only 1 L. And as for our record, we have a 12% ROI since November, 65% on straight picks, 20% ROI on straight picks. Yeah, and 16% ROI on parlays. Props not too good, but overall we've been doing good so far. Now, as for UFC Fight Night Tybura versus Spivac 2, this is a Vegas card. I'm going to go over my most confident picks on this card, and then I'll even throw in a potential underdog by the end of it. So for my first confident pick, I'm going to go with none other than Youssef Zalal versus Jarno Errens. I got Zalal here. I just think he's improved everywhere since his last stint in the UFC. He could be the most complete MMA fighter that Jarno has ever faced in this one. And he just looks really good. He looks complete. He's the Moroccan Devil. He has great movement, great footwork, and he's very calculated on the risks that he takes, whether it's in the stand-up or the grappling. As for Errens, we do see that he's a pretty scrappy dude. He has that dog in him. He finds himself on his back, though, which is kind of a problem, and he finds himself on his back a little bit too easily. And as we noticed from his last fight, he is willing to exchange in the pocket, take some risks, but he is very tough. He's a durable guy. So in this fight, I think Zalal will be able to win rounds here, and maybe a submission for Zalal, but I'm going to say Zalal by decision is the most likely outcome in this fight. So that's my first most confident pick. The lines have already moved quite a bit on Zalal. I think let's see here. He started off around a minus 225 early, and then now he's a minus 440. So a lot of action on Zalal there. Now, as for my second confident pick, I'm going to go with my boy Danny Barlow. He's facing Nikolai, someone who's been in the Contender Series before, who faced a very promising prospect in Michael Morales. I think Michael Morales is really good, and he went the distance against Michael Morales. Now, in this fight, Nikolai is facing Danny Barlow, who's going to be the longer, quicker striker and has really good movement. I think Barlow's going to be the quicker fighter here, and he has a slick stand-up game. I like that he's very poised, and his last fight, he fights through injury, and he finishes the fight strong. He finished Josh Quinlan by KO, and yeah, he was fighting with a broken hand in that first round, and he ended up finishing Quinlan. And that was a good fight for him. That he looked really good. I was there with James and our boy Kevin. We saw that fight live, and yeah, he really looked the part. He really looked the part. He's a very gritty guy coming from Memphis. He really goes for the win. And as for Nikolai could actually be the most well-rounded fighter that Barlow has ever faced. I can see Nikolai possibly having some success in the grappling, because we still haven't seen a formidable grappler, and Barlow hasn't really been tested his takedown defense as of late. He's really been kind of finishing guys. We could see a very much improved Nikolai since his contender series fight with Michael Morales. Kind of losing my voice here. But at times, though, I think Nikolai, he does bring the fight, but he can get kind of gun shy when the quicker stand-up fighter is getting to him. And that was Michael Morales in his last fight. And Michael Morales also had some grappling threat. He was taking Nikolai down too. So I think that's also why Nikolai was kind of hesitant. And now he's facing Danny Barlow. I think I gotta go with Danny Barlow. He looks more of the part here in the UFC. Nikolai's trying to make his entry here in this one, but I think just Barlow's too slick. He has that length, and I think he's just going to be the quicker fighter too, and he's going to get to his spots much quicker than Nikolai. I'm hesitant to pick Barlow by knockout because I mean, Nikolai has gone 3 rounds with a very good Michael Morales. Yeah, that was back in 2021, so he could have easily improved a lot more and much be more formidable opponent for Danny Barlow in this one. So yeah, I'm a little hesitant on Barlow with the KO, but we'll see. We'll see how that fight goes. Now, as for my third most confident pick, in the co-main event, Chepe Mariscal. Now, Chepe, he has solid grappling, solid striking. He doesn't have the best top control, but he keeps coming at you, man. He's kind of a cardio beast in this division. He gets after it for the full 3 rounds. He's got good volume, striking, and great work rate. And as for Damon, this is probably going to be the most experienced fighter that Chepe has ever faced here in the UFC. Damon's got solid grappling himself. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He doesn't have great striking, but he's okay in that area. He doesn't have a crazy weakness there. Damon usually finds his way to outwork or outposition his opponents to find the win. But in this one, I think Chepe will probably be the guy to outwork Damon here. And I'm going to say Chepe by decision is going to be what I'm leaning towards here. So, yeah. Those are my 3 confident picks. Chepe, Danny Barlow, and Youssef Zalal. Oh yeah, just a little bit on the best bet. My best bet on this card is the 3-leg parlay. Chepe Mariscal, Danny Barlow, and Youssef Zalal. 1 unit to win 1.24 units. So very chalky type of parlay, but I think this parlay has a good chance to hit. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good stab at it. 1.24 3-leg parlay. Now onto the potential underdog, Marcin Tybura as my potential underdog on this card. I just think he's just a very, very experienced heavyweight. Wherever the fight goes, he has experience there. And he has beaten a younger Spivac already. This is their second fight. I think Marcin Tybura has the ability to either find a submission, get a finish, or take this fight to deep waters, somewhere Spivac doesn't have a lot of history of going into long, drawn-out fights. And this is a main event 5-rounder. So we'll see how long this fight goes. But as for Spivac is much improved than that younger self that Tybura has fought. Spivac is much stronger, better grappling. He's a bigger guy. And it'll be much tougher for Tybura at 38 years now, going on to 39, to be handling a younger, smaller Spivac from before. So let's look at the odds here. Marcin Tybura, he started off as like around a -116 and has bet all the way down to a +145. So more action has been going on for Sergey Spivac, who started off as a -104, is now a -170. A lot of people going with a younger fighter here in this one. And I say this is a potential underdog because I think these are pretty good odds. Plus 145 for Marcin Tybura facing a guy who he's already beaten. And he has a wealth of experience. And he's coming off of a win as well. A submission against a much dangerous in the stand-up fighter in Tai Tuivasa. I think this fight is gonna. I think Spivak, he does look like he folds at times when things don't go his way. And in a 5-round fight, there's more chances for things to not go his way the longer the fight unfolds. And so Tybura looks like he has the fight in him for a full 3 rounds, full 5 rounds. And if some things don't go Spivak's way, he might start to lose confidence, and we see Tybura's experience shine here over the course of the later rounds if it gets there. So I think this is a good spot for Spivac. I mean, a good spot for Tybura here. Plus 145. I think that's good value. That's a potential underdog play there in the main event. But a hungry Spivac looking to get get back. So we'll see how that fight goes. And yeah, those are my best bets for UFC Vegas 95, UFC Fight Night, Tybura versus Spivac 2, and yeah, the UFC Confident Picks for UFC 305 is also out, so make sure you check that out. That's already uploaded and ready to go. Another week to get into that, but yeah, this has been the best bets. If you enjoyed these videos, make sure you smash subscribe, hit the like, and as always, see you in the next one.